And our last topic is about onion. At ito po ay sikat na crop dito po sa Central Luzon, lalo na po sa Nueva Ecija. Pero this time ay meron pong konting twist because ituturo po ngayon sa atin ay off-season onion production. Our resource person, pakilala ko lang po sa inyo, is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, major in Crop Science in Nueva Vizcaya State University, which was then known as Nueva Vizcaya State Institute of Technology. He is currently serving as a Senior Science Research Specialist in the Department of Agriculture, Nueva Vizcaya Experiment Station. So to talk about the off-season onion production, ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Mr. Salvador M. Bulda. So habang hinihintay po natin si Sir Saldi, don't forget then to answer po our attendance sheet. So if-flash din po yan later yung ating QR code.
Hello. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Good afternoon. First of all, gusto po namin magpasalamat sa Bureau of Agricultural Research for giving us a chance dito sa ating seminar series para naman po maibahagi namin ang naging resulta ng aming pag-aaral dito po sa napakaingay na commodity. Halos taon-taon na 2 beses nag-iingay ang sibuyas sa mga news, social media, na kung saan po yung una is during February to March and yung pangalawa is from November to December. So siguro makikita natin mamaya bakit po ganon. So next please. Next. Ayaw mag-move. Next please. I would like to start my presentation with this quote. My wallet is like an onion. Yan ang sinasabi nila eh. When I open it, it makes me cry. Diba? It is a very common joke. Gas-gas na joke na yan. But it is well related with the predicaments of our farmers, particularly in the Cagayan Valley region. Bakit po? Ano po nagiging problema? Next, please. Next. As we all know, Northern Luzon, particularly Cagayan Valley region, is frequently visited by unusual typhoons, natural hazards. Laging ang sinasabi nga nila, Region 2 is the highway of typhoons. The expressway of unusual typhoons. Which causes yung heavy flooding. Another is, next please. Prolonged drought. Alam natin na ang Tuguegarao City is the hottest city or area dito sa ating bansa. Ano po? So ano po ang nangyayari because of these natural hazards? Next slide please. Yan po ay nakakaapekto doon sa productivity and profitability ng ating mga rice farmers and corn farmers, I should say. So napakababa po ang ating average yield base po sa data ng Philippine Statistics Authority from 2016 to 2020. Ang average yield lang po ng rice for Region 2 is around 4.5 metric tons. At ang kita po or the net income is around 20,000 plus. Napakababa po ng ROI at 40%. Another problem is yung pong seasonality ng ating napakaingay na commodity, ang sibuyas po. Next, please. We're in during the harvesting period of the regular season from February to March. Nagkakasabay po ang Cagayan Valley Region at ang Region 3, particularly Nueva Ecija. Ano po ang nangyayari? Tumataas po yung ating supply sa market at kung magkaganon po, apektado po ang farm gate price. Naitala po natin nasa 30. Well, at least hindi po last year kasi mataas ang farm gate price. But the previous years, way back in 2014, 2015, bumaba po yan up to 8 pesos per kilo. Hindi na rin po binibili yung mga oversize, yung mga deform. Kaya anong nangyayari po sa kita ng ating mga farmers? Sa kalahating ektarya na tinataniman po ng sibuyas sa Nueva Vizcaya, ay kumikita lang po yung ating farmer ng around 86,000 pesos. Na ang return on investment niya ay nasa 86% din. So, lubhang mababa po. Kaya po, tuwing buwan ng February to March, napakaingay po ng ating mga farmers. Lagi nilang sinasabi na lugi magtanim ng sibuyas dahil mababa ang presyo. Pero pagdating po ng October, November, December, maingay po ang mga consumers. Just like last year po, kung hindi po ako magkakamali, umabot po ng 700 pesos per kilogram sa Metro Manila. Mas mahal na po sa baka, karne ng baka, mas mahal na po sa karne ng baboy. Doon po nag-iingay ang ating mga consumers. Next, please. So to address this problem, the Department of Agriculture Regional Field Office number 2, and of course, doon sa napaka-strong support ng DA-BAR, we introduced the technology on off-season onion production. Next, please. Through the community-based participatory action research involving 20 farmer cooperators. At nakafocus lamang po ito sa rice-based areas sa iisang munisipyo po ng Nueva Vizcaya, which is Aritao, Nueva Vizcaya. Next, please. So bakit po Nueva Vizcaya? Base po sa ating mga nakalap na data sa Philippine Statistics Authority, ang probinsya po ng Nueva Vizcaya is the top 5 onion producing in the country. Ano po? And yung average yield po dito is around nasa 13 metric tons, but it has a potential of 20 metric tons. And sa Nueva Vizcaya po, we have 1,000 plus onion farmers. Next, please. So why Aritao Nueva Vizcaya? Yung pinagkantakan po natin ng SIPAR project. Ang Aritao Nueva Vizcaya po ay contributes 98% of the total regional production sa Cagayan Valley. So halos lahat po kinakain na sibuyas sa Region 2 ay nanggagaling po sa Aritao Nueva Vizcaya. Siguro dahil malapit sa Nueva Ecija at nakukuha yung kanyang klima and the practices ng ating mga farmers. Next, please. So paano po itong off-season onion production? Off-season onion production basically is a crop diversification and a crop intensification system wherein around 200 to 1,000 square meter, next please, is being allotted or integrated dun sa existing cropping system ng ating mga rice farmers. Ito po yung 2 beses silang magtatanim ng palay from April to October. Then magtatanim sila ng regular season for onion from November, maaani po siya ng March, February to March. And yung off-season onion production natin ay isisingit lang po doon sa ating existing cropping season or cropping pattern, which is magtatanim po tayo ng off-season onion from August and maaani po siya during the month of December in time po na wala pong supply ng sibuyas unless meron po tayong importation. So kung wala pong supply, ano pong nangyayari sa presyo? Medyo mataas ang presyo, farm gate price. At doon po natutulungan ang ating mga farmers. So paano po natutulungan ng technology na ito ang ating mga consumers. If the project will be expanded, I think mas maluwang at mas mataas na ang production. The supply of onion dito sa ating area would be stabilized. So kung meron pong supply during the lean months, I think ang presyo po ng sibuyas sa market, sa mga public market, ay hindi po ganun tataas na masyado. So yun po yung aim ng ating technology, to help the farmers increase their income and also to help the consumers na hindi naman mabigat po sa bulsa ang sibuyas. Next, please. So paano po? How this technology works? Basically, off-season onion production is a combination of the existing technologies or practices for onion production. Meron lang po tayong dinagdag, meron lang po tayong binago ng konti. And I would like to say na ito pong technology na ito is inspired with the study conducted by PhilMec na gumamit din po sila ng rain shelter but not during the off-season period. So alam naman natin, so why off-season? Alam naman natin na ang sibuyas ay ayaw niya. Ito po ay isang summer crop. Ayaw niya na masyadong matubig. Bakit po natin gagawin ito during off-season? So may mga technologies, meron po tayong kailangan tandaan gawin to have a successful off-season onion production. Next, please. First, we have to select the right place or the right area. Sige, next, please. Next na lang po. The area should be light soil. Ayan po. It should be sandy loam. The area should be well-drained. Hindi po siya nababaha. Hindi po nag-i-stagnant ang water. Okay. Next, please. Pwede po siya sa rice base. Pwede rin po siya sa corn base. Next is the choice of the appropriate variety. So through variety trial, ito po yung ating mga napatunayan na variety suited for off-season production. Yung Super Pinoy, yung dalawang Pinoy variety, and yung Red Dragon natin. So we are not, hindi po tayo nagpo-promote, but because this is proven through variety trials, we have to tell yung variety, yung name ng variety. Okay. So noon po, Super Pinoy lang po ang ating ginagamit at yun po napatunayan natin. But then, wala po tayong choice kung isang variety. So we again conducted a trial at nakita po natin na yung Red Pinoy and Red Dragon are also suited for off-season production. Next, please. Okay, sa seedbed preparation, so of course, susundin pa rin natin kung paano yung seedbed preparation during the regular season. But I think dito po sa Nueva Ecija and Region 1, hindi na masyadong nagpa-practice ng seedling production. Purely, halos they are direct seeded. Pero doon po kasi sa amin, uso pa rin yung seedling production. So the area should be prepared thoroughly by plowing and harrowing 2 times, at least 2 times. Ito po is to get rid of the weeds. Alam naman natin na ang off-season, may problema po tayo sa weed kasi mabilis tumubo yan because of the high soil moisture. And to allow the area to be solarized. This is one way of sterilizing the area to reduce yung population po ng mga damage-causing mga pathogens like dumping off. Next, please. Yung seedbed po natin is naka-raise po siya into 20 to 30 centimeters. Bakit po napakataas? Maulan po ito sa mga buwan na ito. So we need to have a higher beds so that hindi masyadong mababad yung ating seedlings. And yung mga kanal po between the plots will serve as drainage system. So kung mababa po yung ating plot, so hindi madaling mapuno yung canalets niya o yung canal between plots, and doon po ay masasubmerge yung ating seedling product, yung seedling. Okay, next, please. So yan po yung ginawa natin. We have to sterilize the plot 1 day before sowing by spraying fungicides. This is in addition doon sa solarization natin, no? Doon sa crop, kasi doon sa area, kasi hindi naman po nakakasapat yung solarization lang to makontrol natin yung mga sakit, yung mga soil-borne diseases. Next, please. Okay, so usually ang practice ng ating mga farmers doon sa ating area is through broadcast. Yung sa seedling production or sowing of seed, but ang ginagawa po natin or ang ginawa po natin, ang tinuro natin sa ating mga farmers, especially those mga baguhan po sa sibuyas is okay, next please. Sige. Yan po. The old style or the old school of sowing seeds na nagko-construct po ng mga canalets doon sa ibabaw ng plots, around 1 to 2 centimeters ang lalim po and mga 10 centimeters po ang distance. Then doon po binobroadcast yung seeds. Then tinatabunan ng fine soil and a mixture of fine soil and organic, fully decomposed organic matter. And pero doon po sa mga sanay na at kasi medyo laborious yan, yung mga sanay na is ang ginagawa na lang is broadcasting method. Okay, next please. Then gumagamit po tayo dito ng rice hull as a binder to protect the seeds from washing away during watering. Then, immediately after sowing the seeds, nag-i-spray po tayo ng mga contact insecticides. This is to prevent the seeds from transferring by ants. So, tatransfer po nila yan, ilalagay sa kanilang mga colonies. So, wala po tayong mapoproduce na seedlings. Okay, next please. Ito po yung isang, I'd rather say na twist dito sa production natin ng off-season and production. Rain shelter is very much needed during this period kasi nga po maulan. Especially sa seedling production, sa seedling stage, napaka-sensitive po ng sibuyas pag ito po ay nababad or na-expose sa continuous rain. So paano po natin kinoconstruct yung ating protective covering? Ito po yung A-form tunnel type rain shelter. Bakit po A-form? Bakit yung mga nakikita natin usually is inverted U-hoop, yung paganon. Actually, Filmec, ang ginamit po nila is inverted U-hoop with the use of bamboo. Pwede namang gumamit po ng bamboo. But we strongly recommend steel bars because in the long run, mas mura po siya. Ang bamboo po, gagamitin mo lang siya in 1 year. Then the next year, bibili ka na naman. Pero kung gagamit po tayo ng steel bar, it can last up to 10 years. Kung ito po ay maitatago na mabuti after using. So dito po sa ating A-form, bakit po binago natin yung form o yung shape? Nakita po kasi natin na yung U-hoop shape na tunnel rain shelter, pag hindi po maganda ang pagkabanat ng plastic film, naiipon po ang rainwater sa taas. So yun po yung cause, nagko-collapse po yung ating rain shelter. So ano po yung ginawa natin? We tested this actually with the help of our farmer cooperators. Sila po ang nag-observe. And sinabi nila na baka mas magandang ganito, A-form. So sinubukan po natin ng A-form, ang naging resulta po, maganda po yung flow ng rainwater sa taas. So hindi po siya nagko-cause ng collapse. So gumamit po tayo dito ng 10 mm na plain round steel bar. Bakit po hindi pwede yung corrugated? Hindi po pwede yung corrugated kasi from time to time, tinataas mo yung plastic, binababa yung plastic, nasisira po, nasusugat yung plastic film. So we strongly recommend na gagamit po tayo ng plain steel bar. So yan po, kinoconstruct natin after po na nailaglag or naisowing na po yung seeds. Paano po yan? I-form natin yung 3 meters na steel bar into a form like that. Then, ilagay po natin dun sa plot na 1 meter ang lapad, 6 or 12 or 18 meters po ang length. Bakit po naka-eksakto yung length? Para po walang maging scrap doon sa ating plastic film at saka doon sa steel bar. Kasi po, kung 6 meters po yung ating flat, we only need 2 steel bars. Hahatiin lang po sa gitna yon, magiging 4 na poste. Wherein kung magdadagdag tayo ng 8, kailangan natin ng isang steel post ulit, magiging scrap yung isa, yung kalahati niya. So, as much as possible, yun po yung recommendation namin. 6, 12, or 18 meters po ang length. At ang lapad po is 1 meter. So ilalagay lang po natin yung ating A-form or A-frame at 2 meters apart doon sa flat. Ito po yung magsasilbing post ng ating rain shelter. Then magkakabit po tayo ng 5 strands ng nylon rope. Pwede na po yung 2.5 mm na laki na nylon rope. So 5 strands po yan. Isa po sa taas, yung pinakatuktok. 2 po doon sa pinaka-shoulder. At isa po dito sa baba. Para po magkaroon siya ng support. And ang na-observe po natin dito, at signal number 1 po na wind, pwede siyang maka-withstand. Pero po, pag signal number 2, signal number 3, dagdagan na lang po ng dasal para makasurvive. But signal number 1, pwede siyang it can withstand signal number 1. So yan. A wooden peg po ay nakakabit doon sa dulo, 2 dulo ng ating flat, around 1 meter from doon sa end ng flat. Doon po ikakabit yung ating nylon rope at saka yung polyethylene plastic film. Minimum po, pwede na po yung 0.06 mm or 60 microns. Pwede pong UV treated, pwede rin pong hindi UV treated. Kasi ang gamit lang naman po ng plastic film is to protect doon sa ulan. Sige, next please. Yan po kung paano ini-install ang ating plastic film. So ini-stretch, hindi naman po yung masyadong stretch, yung sakto lang para hindi magkakaroon ng parang bowl sa taas. At ikakabit din po ito tightly doon sa 2 wooden peg at the end of every flat. Okay, next. Then after po mailatag natin yung plastic film, kailangan po tayong maglagay ng binder rope every post. So every post maglalagay po tayo ng binding rope o binder rope, gamit din po yung 2.5 mm na nylon rope. So kung makikita po natin dito, yung plastic film, ang lapad po is 2 meters para po meron siyang around 30 centimeters na maiiwan po from the soil line. Kasi po hindi pwedeng hanggang sa lupa because kailangan po ng aeration. Kailangan po ng aeration ng ating tanim. So, nakadesign po siya standard na ang width ng ating plastic film ay 2 meters. Ayan po. Okay, next please. So, during continuous rain, most likely kung nag-start na siya ng 2 days, 3 days, we have to spread out yung plastic film. Ayan. So, dyan na po nagkakaroon yung lagi po naming sinasabi sa aming mga farmers na ang off-season onion technology ay merong kasamang 3 letter. STS po yung sinasabi namin sa kanila. Sipag, tiyaga, at sakripisyo. Could you just imagine na kung uulan, babalik ka sa field, tatakloban mo, pag umaraw, tatanggalin mo ulit. But, yan naman po is kung may continuous rain. Kung umulan po ngayon, hindi naman umulan bukas, it's no need. Hindi naman po kailangan na itaklob natin yung plastic film. Next. Then yan, kung wala na pong ulan, we have to open. Hindi po pwedeng naka-stay lang yung plastic film natin. Kasi sabi ko kanina, alam naman natin na ang onion is a summer crop. It should be 100% fully exposed sa sunlight. Sige, next, please. Okay, sa care and management, yung first 7 days is very critical. Morning and afternoon, kailangan madiligan yung buto. para ma-hasten yung kanyang germination. Then after 7 days, as the need arises, doon lang po tayo magdilig kung kinakailangan kasi ayaw ng seedling ng sibuyas yung sobrang tubig. So magkakaroon or mataas po ang tsansa na magkakasakit siya ng dumping off. And of course, sa fertilization, following yung general recommendation natin for fertilizer application. Next, please. So at 35 to 45 days, seedlings can now be transplanted. And, but 30 days, pwede pong gawin yan as early as 30 days. Depende po dun sa tayo or bulas ng ating seedlings. So kung gumamit po tayo ng, ang nakita po natin dito, pag gumamit tayo ng mga organic fertilizer, mas mabilis po at mas matibay ang ating mga seedlings. Okay. Next, please. So habang nasa seedling stage ang ating crop, ang ating onion, yung ating production area should be prepared. Sabi ko nga, hindi po pwede na yung usual practice ng onion production na zero tillage dun sa amin ay gagawin po sa off-season. The area should be plowed, harrowed at least 2 times para po yun yung purpose. Get rid of the weeds, masolarize ang ating area to reduce yung mga soil-borne diseases. Next, please. Again, ito po yung isang modification. Kailangan po naka-plot or naka-raised bed ang ating production area. Just like dun sa seedbed area, yung canal po will serve as the drainage canals. So kung wala po siyang, hindi po siya naka-plot, hindi siya naka-raised bed, may expose po yung ating crop doon sa high soil moisture. Okay? So ganun din po, 1 meter po ang lapad, 6, 12, or 18 meters po ang haba. Meron po tayong 0.5 meter na space between plot. This is to allow yung operation doon sa ating area. Kasi kung mas maiksi po siya ng 0.5 meter, mahihirapan po tayo sa weeding, mahihirapan po tayo sa watering. Ayun. So at least 0.5 meter po ang space between plots. Next, please. So again, just like dun sa seedbed area, we need to apply a fully decomposed organic matter. No need, hindi po kailangan na bumili tayo ng mga commercial organic fertilizer. What is available dun sa ating area is yung mga fully decomposed animal manures and other matters. Sige, next please. So, mulching, pwede pong mag-mulching kung available po ang rice straw. Pero ngayon po, binebenta na rin ang rice straw. So, pwede namang hindi. Basta maganda po ang pagka-prepare ng ating lupa. Next, please. Then, irrigation. During off-season, hindi tayo masyadong worry dyan kasi mataas po ang ulan. Hindi ko lang po alam ngayon kasi may El Niño tayo. Ano po? Then, itatransplant po natin yan. Mag-irrigate po tayo 2 to 3 days before yung transplanting. Then, mag-transplant po tayo following a 10 by 10 centimeter space. Okay, next, please. So again, we need to install rain shelter sa ating production area. So ito na naman po yung sinasabi kong sakripisyo. Kung kanina po doon sa ating seedbed area, we have only 4 plots. Ngayon po, in 200 square meter, we have now 20 plots na tatanggalin mo yung plastic, ibabalik yung plastic. So yun po yung sinasabi kong may kasamang sipag, tiyaga at sakripisyo. Next, please. Okay, so same lang naman po yan sa seedbed area, yung pag-construct ng rain shelter. Sige, next please. Yan, parehas din po doon sa plastic film. Kagaya din po doon sa seedbed area. Kagaya din po yan yung paglalagay ng ating nylon binder. Sige, next please po. Next. So during continuous rain, ayan, nakalatag po ang ating rain shelter. Kung mapapansin po natin, mas maluwang na po yung area kasi mas marami ng plot. Next, please. Kung wala pong ulan, ito pa yung magiging itsura. So, nakatiklop po ang ating rain shelter. Okay? Next, please. For care and management, ang very critical dyan is yung weeding. So, weed should be controlled 60 days or before bulb development. Kailangan kasi na pag nag-bulb na yung sibuyas, hindi na po gagalawin. Very critical na po yung stage na yon. Pero kung napansin natin na meron siyang onion twister disease, which is one of the very serious problem or disease of onion, tigil po ang field operation, tigil po ang irrigation, tigil po ang weeding, tigil po ang fertilization. So, continue yung operation kung na-control na po yung disease. Sige, next, please. So, yung granular fertilizer, pwede pong i-apply before or after irrigation. Then, we have to apply liquid calcium boron na foliar fertilizer. This will aid in the bulb development and boost po yung resistance ng ating onion crop sa diseases. Next, please. Without, kung hindi po tayo makapagpa-soil analysis, meron naman pong general recommendation. Ang tip lang po dito sa ating off-season onion, yung sinasabi natin sa ating mga farmers na hindi po pwedeng bibiglayin ng pag-aabono. Should be unti-untiin lang. Kasi kung masyadong mabulas yung ating crop, very prone siya sa twister disease. Next, please. Yan, okay, good fertilizer management, use yung paggamit po ng organic, meron tayong proper timing ng fertilizer para hindi po sayang yung ating mga ina-apply. Sige, next. For pest management, we follow yung integrated pest management such as yung cultural, proper land preparation, irrigation, weed management, yung physical po, yun po yung paggamit natin ng rain shelter, protected cultivation, and yung mga insect traps. Particularly po sa armyworm ng sibuyas. Then biological, nag-introduce po tayo ng Trichoderma harshanum for the reduction of twister disease infection. Then chemical as a last resort doon sa control ng ating diseases. Next, please. Okay, harvesting, yan po, December, natataon po siya sa walang supply, mataas po ang presyo. Next, please. So we are recommending na mag-dry sila, mag-sort yung ating mga farmers, pero hindi na po ginagawa yan. Kasi nakatayo pa lang po yung sibuyas, nandyan na po yung buyer. So standing crop, binabayaran na. Kasi nga walang supply, wala silang makuhanan. So wala na pong drying, wala na pong sorting. Unlike sa regular season na pinipili mo nila yung oversize, pinipili yung mga piwi, mga ganon, at iba-iba ang presyo. Dito po sa ating, dito po sa off-season, wala pong pagkakaiba. Reject man, oversize man, good size, pare-parehas po ang presyo. Next po. Of course, with the 5 years implementation of this project, hindi po tayo nakapag-experience ng problem. Sige, next po. With the promising result of the CIPAR, yan po yung result ng ating CIPAR from 2017 to 2019, doon naapektuhan po yung 2017 natin ng bagyo. So, next please. The project was scaled out, outscaled in 2020 to 2022. Hindi na lang po sa Nueva Vizcaya, but umabot na po siya ng Santo Niño, Cagayan. Next, please. So what was the result of this project? Next. Doon sa ating rice-based area, around 195 kilograms, ang harvest po doon sa 200 square meter. If you translate this into per hectare basis, around nasa 9.7 metric tons. So hindi na po masama yung yield na yon. Next, please. In the corn-based areas, mas mataas po ang ating yield because alam naman natin ang soil sa corn-based areas ay sandy loam, well-drained siya. Mas mataas po ang kanyang ani, which is umabot po siya ng around 11 metric tons per hectare. Next, please. During this period, meron tayong 2.7 hectares ng taniman and around 21 metric tons ang ating naani. Total volume of production, if we convert that, nasa 10 metric tons per hectare. Next, please. Ang net income po doon sa ating rice-based area ay umabot po ng 11,000 plus for 200 square meter. With an ROI of 122%, break-even price of 46.5, and a break-even yield of 87 kilos per 200 square meter po. Next, please. Sa corn base, mas mataas po siya, around nasa 22,000 with the ROI of 186%. Next, please. So, tingnan natin, if we compare the profitability of the existing cropping system, which is rice, then regular season onion, doon sa in-introduce natin na may off-season onion, sige, next please. Nakapag-record po tayo ng 42% increase doon sa ating total annual income for a 1 hectare rice area. Next, please. Okay, siguro play lang natin ng konti, then skip. Kahit isang farmer.
Ang gagandahan po kasi ng off-season, maliit man yung area na tatamnan mo, yung kikitain doon, halos katumbas na ng 1 hektaryang palay.
Natawa po ako doon sa presyo ng 80 per kilo, yung naani ko. Yun po ay nakapagbigay ligaya sa pamilya ko.
Adyan area nga 120 square meters kat adamot na urnong ko nga 35,000 so inayon ko invest ko dito yung stock ko talagang triple iti presyo. Iti regular namin pilyenda at dati classification na. Iti off season handa nga pilyon. Basit man when rakkel gatangan da amin.
Yan, yan lang po yung mga some of the testimonies ng ating mga farmers. But pwede nyo pong ma-view dun sa Facebook page ng DA-BAR for more stories ng ating mga farmers. Next, please. Ayan, of course, capacity building sa ating mga farmers. Sige, rundown na lang po siguro. Through briefing, technology, method demo. Next, please. IEC materials, kapag-develop po tayo. Next, audiovisual presentation. Next, cross-farm visits, field days. Sige, next po. Field days, next. Sige, next po. Mga social media, print media, mga news, TV, radio programs. Sige po. Broadcast. Okay, sige, next. For sustainable support mechanism for the project, nalink po tayo dun, inilink po natin yung ating technology sa ATI, which is yung ating off-season onion production is now a regular module dun sa kanilang AgriTalk program. Okay, next. Next po. Yan, so marami na pong nag-a-adapt na provinces. Next. Yan. Okay, next, please. So those are just promotional activities na ginawa natin sa ating off-season. Now, the Provincial Local Government of Nueva Vizcaya po allotted 1.6 million purposely for the expansion ng ating off-season onion production project. Sige, next. Next po. Next. Sige po. Sige, next. Yan. We have transferred the technology to 2 farmers association doon po sa ating province ng Nueva Vizcaya. Next, please. For sustainability of the project, now it was transferred to the Field Operations Division of the AHBCDP Region 2 and they allotted around 11 million para doon po sa ating project. Ngayon po, ang ating project ay covering Nueva Vizcaya, Isabela, Cagayan, and Batanes. So umabot na po halos the whole of Region 2. Okay, sige, next po. Yan, other highlights, it was presented during international forums, national and international forums, yung ating technology. Okay, sige, next. That's why we are encouraging every onion farmers to go off-season so that later on po, next please, they can say, my wallet is like an onion. When I open it, it makes me cry because of higher income. Next, please. Thank you po and good day.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Saldi Bulda po, for your presentation. It's time for our Q&A. Are there any questions po mula sa ating audience po dito sa Teachers Hall? Yung mga online participants po natin, they can now input their questions po sa ating comment section. Tapos babasahin po natin some of them po. May mga questions po ba mula sa mga students po natin? Yes po, sir. Kindly approach na lang po ulit ang ating microphone.
Good day po. John Pierre Nuncio po from BS-Sabe. Sa off-season po, tsaka sa in-season po ng onion, ano po yung pinagkaiba nung bulb size nung in-season tsaka off-season po?
Wala pong pinagkaiba. Kung bakit po napapansin nyo na mas mababa ang yield ng off-season, because dun sa provision ng ating mga plots. Parehas lang po yung size ng bulb, parehas po yung growth, parehas lang po siya.
Follow up lang po. Ano pa po yung ibang kalaban sa off-season bukod po sa ulan? Like ano po yung mga nagiging common problem po kapag nagtatanim during off-season?
Ang pinakamatinding problema talaga sa off-season is yung ulan. Because pag naulanan po or mataas po ang soil moisture sa lupa, dyan po nagkakaroon yung development ng mga soil-borne diseases. So naa-aggravate po siya. So yun lang po, ulan ang talagang problema. That's why we introduce yung tunnel type rain shelter.
Thank you po.
Okay, thank you very much. Other questions po? Meron pa po ba? Po ba tayong question on... yes, ma'am. And then we'll proceed po sa question online po.
Good afternoon po. I'm Edwin Morales from Bisabe. Di po ako mag-aas ng question, maghihingi po ako ng advice. So, I will be conducting po ng study about the off-season din po ng production ng onion, but magagamit po ako ng technology which is the tower garden technology. So, ano po yung ma-advise niyo po sa akin? Since hindi po siya in like dun sa farm field na malawak po. Gagamit po ako ng tower garden technology.
Siguro kailangan nating makita ano ba yung gagamitin mong technology para may harmonize natin dito sa ating
Tower garden po siya, sir.
Tower.
Opo.
Parang
tower
vertical
garden.
siya, sir.
Vertical
Parang
farming
vertical
po.
garden
Ah,
siya. So parang urban
Opo.
garden, parang
Opo.
gano'n. Yes, you can follow yung technology kahit hindi ka siguro mag-rain shelter dito lang kasi
Opo,
urban.
sir, kasi po
naman.
well drain naman po yung
Ah.
ang gagamitin ko po kasing soil is coco pit po, and then di ba po tower garden na po yung gagamitin ko, and also drip irrigation po. So okay, possible naman po, sir.
Possible yun, but siguro tingnan mo yung combination. Hindi I think I'm not sure kung gagamit ka ng purong coco pit,
Okay po,
baka
sir.
mamaya affected yung bulbing. Kasi
Okay po,
coco
sir.
pit, depende lang siguro kung gagamit ka ng fertigation, yung proper supplementation ng
So mag-apply po ako ng fertigation po kung if ever po.
if you use drip irrigation, it's more practical na gagamit ka na ng fertigation.
Okay po, sir.
Mas siya, efficient, mas economical.
Okay po, sir. Okay po, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you po. So let's read a question po from our online participants. So, yan. Hintayin lang po natin ma-flash yung question. And then we'll ask one more siguro po from Sir Pedro Caballero. Gumagana po ba ang greenhouse at vertical farming sa sibuyas?
Vertical farming, yun nga po, hindi pa natin nasusubukan. Pero at least meron tayong move dito sa ating mga student para makita yung vertical farming. Yung ating mga greenhouses, pwede siya, pero sabi ko nga, yung mga structure kasi ng ating greenhouses talagang kulob siya eh. Unless may mga may mga ventilation. Pwede siguro doon.
Okay po. Questions pa po? Yes, sir.
Good day po. Di ba po ang in-offered po na technology ay rice straw? Instead po ba ng paggamit ng rice straw, pwede po ba yung plastic bags, yung plastic mulching?
Actually, nung unang trial natin, bago natin in-implement at sinubmit yung proposal sa VAR, we conducted yung trial doon sa mulching. Pwede po yung plastic mulch, but it's not practical. Mataas ang presyo, napaka-laborious po. Imagine yung 10 by 10 centimeter na bubutasan mo sa isa. So wala din silbi yung plastic mulch. Halos bugbog na rin yung plastic mulch. So sayang lang po siya. So we did not recommend po yung plastic mulch.
Thank you po.
Okay, so last question po sa ating isang online participant from Jonel Garcia. In terms of pest management, example po yung FAO, madami ba ang population or same lang?
Within the 5 years of implementation of this project, we did not experience problem on insect. The really problem in off-season is diseases. So wala pong problema sa FAO during regular season. Hindi ko lang po alam, siguro for the coming years, yun po yung paghahandaan natin. But for now, masasabi po natin hindi po problema ang FAO during off-season period.
Okay, so Thank you very much, Sir Saldi. Palakpakan po muli natin, Mr. Salvador M. Bulda. We will now award the Certificate of Appreciation to our resource speaker. Bureau of Agricultural Research awards the Certificate of Appreciation to Salvador M. Bulda for sharing his invaluable knowledge and skills in his topic titled Off-Season Onion Production, given the 16th day of August 2023 during the National Agriculture and Fisheries Technology Exhibition with the theme Shaping Agri-Fisheries Technologies for a Better Future, held at Teachers Hall, CLSU, Science City of Muñoz, Nueva Ecija, signed by our director, Dr. Junel B. Soriano, and awarded by our KMIST Assistant Head, Ms. Evelyn Juanillo. Palakpakan po.